What up, brothers and sisters? What up? Welcome to the Meaning Stream.
Akira The Don.
I am so remiss. I am so remiss. I am remiss. I'm playing the wrong version of this song. I am playing the wrong version of this song. Yo, given the events. So, without further ado, I want to bid you welcome to the Meaning Stream 308. It's the Meaningwave Live Super Request Show. That's the show where you can get your Meaningwave Live Super Requests. Hurrah! And we gonna kick it off with a beat I made back in, what was this? 2006 or 2000, something like that.
You gotta eat fresh and I'm fresher. Man, I'm killing these bitches like Phil Spector. Man, I'm killing these bitches.
What's up? Meaningwave exists. Wave Gang exists. Meslansis exists. MAZ exists. Pretty sure you exist if you listening to this.
Akira.
Hey.
You gotta eat fresh and I'm fresher. Man, I'm killing these bitches like Phil Spector. Man, I'm killing these bitches like Phil Spector. You gotta eat fresh and I'm fresher. Man, I'm killing these bitches like Phil Spector. Man, I'm killing these bitches like Phil Spector.
Man, we here. What's cracking? How y'all doing? Cindy Bailey says Akira's hair game exists. Akira The Don, haircut routine. Do not wash hair. Wake up, have a shower. Try and avoid getting the hair touched. Occasionally, wash hair with water. Brush once a week. Boom! My hair is like the best it's ever been as well. Hair products is a lie. There's certain stuff you always knew to be true, right? You always knew that hair products were a lie, but then you do it for real. And I've done it before many times, but
you gotta eat fresh and I'm fresher. Man, I'm
I've been in the
like Phil Spector.
zero hair products game for a while now.
Phil Spector.
It's so good.
Man, I'm killing these bitches like Phil Spector.
Hey!
You gotta eat fresh and I'm fresher. Man, I'm killing these bitches like Phil Spector.
Whoa!
Phil Spector.
Whoa!
Phil Spector. Man, I'm killing these bitches like Phil Spector.
Godspeed, Phil Spector. Phil Spector departed. He departed, leaving his cellmate Charles Manson bereft. Charles Manson wasn't his cellmate. He was up the block. They shared a prison. You know, they was blockmates. You know, they shared a prison, and Charlie Manson tried to befriend Phil Spector when Phil Spector first went to that jail. Charlie Manson sent some of his homies over. Said, hey, what's up? Phil Spector, Charlie Manson wants to be friends with you. Phil Spector had those guys battered by his guys. I know, so the saying goes, so the story goes. They definitely were in the same prison, and according to homies from the inside, there was an attempted friendship on the part of on the part of Manson.
I'm pressure.
On that first day.
Need bitches like Phil Spector.
Who knows what will come about, what went down.
Like Phil Spector. Man, I'm killing you.
You know, people be dropping like flies right now. Donald Tober, that sweet and low fellow.
Bitches like Phil Spector. Like
You know, he plummeted to his death from a tall building. Baron Benjamin de Rothschild. He was young for a Rothschild. They normally live to 732. He managed like 53 or something. He had one of them heart attacks. Amazing. 9 Catholic bishops popped off this week. In Excess's manager Chris Murphy. Nigerian billionaire Balloo Akin Olugbande. All sorts of people. Governments are collapsing all over the place. What a time to be alive! Hey! Italian government, Netherlands. Meanwhile, Meaningwave Autonomous Zone stands tall. So make some noise for yourselves, Maz Lances. We in here and we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere, baby. And you already know. It's a beautiful day to be alive here at the peak of recorded human civilization. By Jove, it is a beautiful day. A beautiful day here at the dawn of the neo-psychedelic wholesome age. We're about to go in on that, as I've been predicting for many, many years now. You know, we're nearly at the peak of the dark swing, the dark part of the swing. The dark part of the cultural swing, I've been predicting for many, many years. It's going to be sort of like late February. It's going to be peaking kind of like late January, and then sort of late February we'll start going over the top of the roller coaster into the psychedelic craziness, which happens to coincide with Sci-fi World. Sci-fi World. Incoming. So that's exciting, you know, a neo-psychedelic wholesome age twinned with a sci-fi explosion. Villiers says, it's about to go down. D-Man says, heads will roll. Just out to the yeah. Villiers says, get in that Miley Cyrus position, MAZ. That's right, Villiers. That's where you want to be, man. Because if you're talking about a cultural swing, one way of thinking about it is like a wrecking ball, you know? And each time it swings, it's hitting harder. So where do you want to be? Where do you want to be if the cultural swing is a wrecking ball? You want to be in that Miley Cyrus position, baby. You want to be naked and riding it. Whoop! Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Speaking of naked, Zach Sazza just came through with our first request, and it would be remiss of me to not instantly play it because the connection is so great. Drummer naked Miley Cyrus riding the cultural cannonball to the bare necessities.
Do I have a message? Yes, I do.
Hey.
Here's my message. As scary as the world is, and it is merely a ride. In the amusement park of the universe, it is merely a ride. It has its thrills, it has its chills, it has its ups, it has its downs. And some people have known it. We think it's real because that's how powerful our minds are, but it's not. It's a ride. And some people have known it, and they've come here and told us it's just a ride. And we have killed those people. We love the fucking ride. But it's just a ride. Since you know it, some people are tired of the ups and downs and the thrills and chills and prefer instead the quiet. They have to be told it's just a ride.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be found off my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few.
Do it!
The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you.
Ah, yeah!
All I need is the love of my crew. The whole industry can hate me, I thug my way through it. All I need is a chick that hold a jammy like Meth and Mary like Marvin and Tammy. Now understands we can't be stopped from blowing Swiss and sweets out of candy drops like we underground kings riding dirty. A nigga been focused since I said hi to 30.
I stay sweet as a nut, sweet like Tropicana. When I hammer hits, your head splits like banana. You're not ready for this, no. You better send your best soldiers. This is Captain Rascal.
Rascal.
More destructive and troublesome than ever. I'll probably be doing this, probably
Ever.
fellas wanna stop me, they'll probably come together.
Ever.
Improbable, they'll stop me, probably never.
All I need is a high price lawyer, cause it's foul ways nowadays. Everybody show you and they coming to court too. I thought
Yeah, boy.
can't even steal on a nigga, motherfuckers.
They'll sue. They'll sue.
The bare necessities
Of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Ow, ow, ow. Bam, 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 bam.
ATD20 is the shit. Are you listening to this? I said it's the shit.
Ah, yeah!
I love making mixtapes. I didn't care. So damn happy. The way old feet around and around. Damn near. So damn happy. It was just so damn nice. The way she kept going around. Around there. God.
Oh man, this is really lovely.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Look for the. Look for the. Look for the.
Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Forget about your worries and your stripes. Oh, man.
I mean it, bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with
Just the bare necessities of life.
Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life.
Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah, Zach Sassy, you bad, bad, bad mama jamma, you. What a great super request to kick us off. It's the Meaningwave Live Super Request Show. Request your Meaningwave songs. You know, request your Meaningwave songs. You know, out of joy and wonder. Yeah, here we are. I really like the Meaningwave Live Super Request Show because I really like playing Meaningwave songs. And it's a funny old thing, you know. I was telling Jordan Peterson this earlier today. When I was younger, I used to hate listening to my own music, you know. I used to hate listening to my own music because all I ever heard in it was... How did I put it? All I ever heard was the deadwood of the former me, you know. That's all I could hear. When I listened to my old songs, all I heard was the deadwood of the former me that I've been, you know, because I've been in this constant state of hacking away at that deadwood as long as I can remember being me, you know. So when I listened to those older songs, I could just hear that deadwood, you know, and I didn't like it. It made me feel bad, you know. It made me feel awkward. If someone put on one of my songs, I would leave the room. And, you know. But now, ever since I made Be a Plumber, every song I've made since Be a Plumber, I am glad to hear that song. I'm happy to hear that song. Every single one I've made since Be a Plumber, right? Every single one of them. I'm glad to hear them all. And if I were to remake them again today, there might be something different. I might do something different. I might change something. I might put an orchestra on that mud up. You know, I might use a different drum, but nothing about it like makes me feel in any way self-conscious or bad or anything like that, you know. I'm happy they exist. I'm really happy they exist. I'm really proud of them, you know. Each and every one of these Meaningwave songs, I'm glad of it. And that's a wonderful thing, you know. It's a wonderful thing to have that. You know, it's a wonderful thing to have that. And so shouts out to you lot. Thank you for being here, you know. Thank you for the opportunity. You know, the opportunity to play these songs that I've made. I've made so many songs since 2017, you know. Made Be a Plumber in 2017, and then it wasn't really till 2018 that I really got going on the whole Meaningwave as a thing, you know. And then we picked up the pace, you know. We made a few albums in 2018. We made a few more in 2019, and we made a few more in 2020, babe. And we got quite the catalog now, but I do feel it's just the beginning, you know. I feel it's just the beginning of something really exciting and really special and really powerful. And I feel like we just scratched the surface of the potential of this Meaningwave thing, you know. That's how I feel. So that's really, I'm really excited about this year, you know, this year that's ahead of us, you know, the music that we're going to make this year. You know, we got, I've already made 3 of the albums that are coming out this year. I already made them, you know, they're already made because I've been working real hard, you know. But, you know, we've got a bunch of Jordan Peterson albums coming out. I mean, we definitely got the one that's coming out next week. And we definitely got another one because we're going to take the bare bones of JBPWAVE 3 and build that into an epic album, you know. We're definitely doing that, and we're aiming at getting the 4th one done too. And if you would like that to happen, I would suggest you back the Indiegogo campaign, baby, because that's how we're doing it. That's how we're doing it. Back the Indiegogo campaign today, because you want those records to exist, you know. And that's what I would suggest doing. And we're definitely going to make that happen, you know. That's what we're definitely working on. And this is one of them right here, actually. I'm going to play one right now. This one right here. This is what I was talking about in the... If I was going to make something again right now that is something that I made previously, would I approach it slightly differently? And this is an example of that, you know? It's very subtly different, you know? Hey! This is one of those orchestras I played myself, you know. It's like a little string section, really.
Without that beauty, there's no call to higher being. You know, this is also why, you know, I've mentioned to people that they should clean up their rooms. That's become quite the internet meme. But I'm really serious about it because it's really hard to do that. And it isn't just that you clean it up. You also make it beautiful. 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 It's really hard to make something beautiful. Make it beautiful. It's really worthwhile. Make it beautiful. It's really hard to make something beautiful. Make it beautiful. It's really worthwhile. What's really cool is if you learn to make something beautiful, even one thing, if you could just make one thing in your life beautiful, then you've established a relationship with beauty. And then you can start to expand that relationship with beauty out into the world, like into other elements of your life. And that is so worthwhile. It's just incredibly, crazily worthwhile. Make it beautiful. 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 It's really hard to make something beautiful. Make it beautiful. It's really worthwhile. Make it beautiful. It's really hard to make something beautiful. Make it beautiful. It's really worthwhile. People are terrified of it. People are terrified of color. They paint their walls beige. They're terrified of art. They buy some mass-produced thing because they don't want anybody laughing at them for their lack of taste. And they would get laughed at because they have no taste. But you have to, well, it's right, because what do you know, right? You have to develop it. And so you're going to stumble along and make mistakes to begin with. And you're going to show yourself, because if you buy, I think this is pretty, and you know, somebody goes, hey, what's up with you? It's kind of hard on your self-esteem, but it's you're stumbling towards the right, you're stumbling towards the kingdom of God. That's what you're stumbling towards when you try to make an aesthetic decision. Make it beautiful. Make it beautiful. Make it beautiful. Make it terrifying to people because beauty highlights what's ugly. And so if you start to make your room beautiful, then everything around that isn't like that just starts to glow in the worst sense. It's terribly dangerous. That's why people are afraid of beauty, but it's the greatest thing you can do. Beautiful things are beautiful for a reason. That beauty has depth, like it's real depth, man. That's what gets you in touch with the transcendent and the divine is beauty. You introduce that into your room, you're playing with fire. And people will resist it. Make it beautiful. 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 It's really hard to make something beautiful. Make it beautiful. It's really worthwhile. Make it beautiful. It's really hard to make something beautiful. Make it beautiful. It's really worthwhile. I was in this museum a while back. It was full of these paintings from the late Renaissance. There's like a dozen of them in this one room. Every painting on that wall was worth $300 million, like minimum. You couldn't buy those paintings. Like there was like a dozen of them in there. I thought, wow, there's like $3.6 billion worth of paintings in this room. And people are making pilgrimages from all over the world just to look at them. It's like, what the hell's going on? It's like, yeah, no kidding. What the hell's going on? There's beauty in those paintings. There's beauty and it's magnificent. And part of what it does is say, you aren't who you should be. That's what beauty does to you. That's why you're intimidated by a beautiful woman. A staggeringly beautiful woman. It's like, oh my God. You know, attracted for sure, but definitely intimidated. It's like, well, that's because you aren't who you could be. Beauty does that to you because beauty has that contrast.
To have the whole day. What? What a glorious thing. Waking up in the morning, baby. Oh, what a glorious thing. Get to have the whole day. Hey, oh, what a glorious thing. Waking up in the morning, baby. What a glorious thing. You get to have the whole day. Yeah, there you go, baby. That was the aesthetic version of Make It Beautiful from the JBPWAVE Aesthetic album coming out next week. We played that for Richard Young, who said, "How about some oh what a glorious thing?" You got some oh what a glorious thing there. You got some oh what a glorious thing in that song. That's called the Archaic Revival. That there. Archaic Revival. Now, before we go any... Excuse me, I just have to adjust my... junk is the right word, because it's so precious, you know? Anyway. Cindy Bailey says, that was beautiful. Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks. Ekins Villiers says, that's a good thing to say. Did you know Robert Smith threatened to sue me over that one time? He didn't in the end. Robert Smith does not own by Jove. Hey! Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, these trousers. Yeah, we have an international high five to do. We have an international high five to do before we get into this Meaningwave Live Super Request show, and people are already getting in their super requests. Richard Young, you just got yours, baby. Walking Mall Poet is, I don't know if taking the piss is the right way of putting it, but... I humbly, Walking Mall Poet with a $2 super chat. I humbly request Jocko's Extreme Ownership Trilogy. Hey, why don't you just request the whole album while you're at it? Hey! Hey! God bless. What was I going to say? Yeah, we've got an international high five to do. And I said something earlier about sci-fi world coming in. And then I saw someone say something about dystopia. And I would say no. I'm not angling for a dystopia. And then you could also argue, humankind has been in something of a dystopia ever since it first picked up a rock and caved someone's head in with it. If you want to look at it from that way of looking at things, you could say, humans, what humans, whatever we were doing perfectly well, sitting around just just chewing on trees or whatever we were doing, but then some bugger picked up a rock and caved in a skull, and then suddenly we had technology, and suddenly we were cyborgs, and suddenly we were in a sci-fi dystopia because people were just running around murdering each other with rocks, and suddenly it was survival of whoever had the biggest rock, and whoever was happiest with caving in another head with a rock was running things, and suddenly we were in a dystopia. And other people might look back at those times fondly and say, what a wonderful golden age that was, the golden age of the caving in the skull with a rock, just a simple time. Now people are out here yeeting people off of the internet, and that's a dystopia. A dystopia is when you yeet people off the internet. Before that, it wasn't a dystopia, but now it is. It's like, where'd you draw the line? Where is the line? Where is it? And I would say there is no line. I would say that there is, a perspective. There is a perspective, I would say, and there is no light without shadow, and vice versa. And what I would want to know right now, by Joe, what I would like to know right now from you, brothers and sisters, is this. Okay, if we are entering sci-fi world, which we are, what would make that good for you? Tell me some aspects of sci-fi world that you would rather enjoy, and that they would make life enjoyable, exciting, fun, good, wonderful, beautiful, maybe even better than it is now. How about some examples of that? Let's have some examples of good aspects of potential sci-fi world for the International High Five today. Plus and thanks. Get after it! And I'll rack up them super requests. Super requests. D-Man, what's up? Ekans Villiers, what's up? Mike Better says, I really like the updated Make It Beautiful. Hey, thanks. Actually, I should point out to you, we got some new information. New information. Those of you that are eagle-eyed will have noticed that the pre-order is now up on the Bandcamp for those sorts of people who like that sort of thing. And one reason I don't want to be putting up the pre-orders of the Bandcamp until, as late as I had, so I nearly didn't put it up at all. Wifey said I should. She reminded me of my own argument that certain people they have no idea these streams exist, but they're on Bandcamp, that's some people. That's their world. Now, what Bandcamp does is it rather reveals the track listing, you see, so we can see here the track listing for JBPWAVE Aesthetic. Oh my goodness, did you know that? There it is. Track 1 is called Happiness is Fleeting. Well, that sounds very new. I have a feeling we might not have heard of any of that anywhere, ever. Not even an aspect of it. Track 2, and I'll tell you why, because it would seem that track 2 is called Make It Beautiful, aesthetic version. And if this record is based upon the foundation of JBPWAVE 2, I'm pretty sure the Make It Beautiful sentiment was right at the start. So it seems there has been some adjustment. Track 3 is a song called Beauty is So Valuable and We're So Afraid of It. Number 4 is Sleeping Beauty, aesthetic version. Ooh. 5 is called Think Critically, and 6 is called You'll Pay For It. 7 is called Fix It. 8 is called The Finite and the Infinite. We've heard that. That's a single. 9 is called Suffering Exists. 10 is called Demonically Warped Aesthetic. And 11 is called O Ye of Little Faith. And if you pre-order on Bandcamp, you can get a download of that song, it would seem. Now, 12 is called Go to the Movie. 13 is called Aim, Live in the Day. We know that. That's an instant classic. 14 is called Back to the Lobsters. That sounds fun. 15 is called You're Oppressed, aesthetic version. 16 is Life is Suffering. And 17 is called A Miracle. So there you go, that's the track listing revealed. And you'll be listening to that album in a few short days. 4 short days you'll be listening to that album. You will. And if you didn't know, we got a campaign going on right now to get that album on vinyl. on vinyl, by Jove. You can get that album on vinyl, and I suggest you do it right now. Quick. Go get the album on vinyl. Go get it on vinyl. Not only will you be able to get it on vinyl, you can also get JBPWAVE Genesis on vinyl. Very exciting. The vinyl is double, gatefold, lyric book, colored. Comes with an additional bonus 7-inch of Be a Plumber. You can get a JBPWAVE monolith. There's about a dozen of these left or something. If you so wish, you can get the entire Meaningwave catalog. There's a few of those left, 8 of that there. You can get the set for $300. All of the vinyls, including the 7 inches. Very amazing. Very amazing. And of course, we're in stretch goal season right now, and the next stretch goal of 34K, and we're about 2K away from that. At that point, we'll hire an orchestra. An actual orchestra. Did you notice on that new version of Make It Beautiful, there were strings on it? I played them myself on a synthesizer, you know? In this instance, we're looking at getting a 30-piece orchestra of real human beings playing all the orchestra instruments all at once in a room together. What magic will that bring, by Jove? And then stretch goal number 9, 39K will get JBPWAVE 4 turned into an album, a whole album. So that's what's going on there. I would suggest you go back that campaign today because you want those things to exist. And you can think critically. And now let's move our attention to the International High Five and see what people are saying about potentialities of sci-fi world. Let's see. I mean, I think there's a lot of great ideas, I'm sure. I've got to rack up another bit of music. Yeah. All right, let's see. D-Man says GTA is a real-world simulator. Yes, it is. A very good one, too. Grant Kelly's in the house, says complete interconnectivity and less misunderstandings. That's one way of looking at it, yeah. If everyone's completely connected in that potential fashion, well, yes, less misunderstandings, certainly. Less misunderstandings, certainly. Max Martin, we will live longer with technology, more time to listen to bops. Thanks to the gods, more time for bops, and that's a good point because I'm going to make a lot of bops in this lifetime. I've already made quite a few, but I promise you, the bops that you've heard, that's like the first breath of bops compared to the marathon of breaths, you know, that thing. So there. Flag Hat Films, Colorado. Implanted phones means it's hard to misplace it. Ha ha ha. Jules Vaughn says no disease. There's a potentiality of sci-fi world, a very real one. Flag Hat Films, Colorado. I already read that. Equintillier, Mass Effect 4, Andromeda. Bop, bop. Sway, responding to the environment out of necessity. That could be interpreted in a number of ways. Joey, Tennessee, projecting imagination as a living dream would be pretty cool. You misspelt will. That should have been a will there because it will. Projecting imagination as a living dream will be pretty epic. Ex-Villiers says so much flat it HRZ. Good sentence. Chase Mushang, everything done to us before we are godlike made us godlike. Survive, be good, have fun. Everything else is waves. Aren't we already godlike? Is that the point? Yeah. Survive, be good, have fun. Everything else is waves. I'll take that. Jules Vaughn, no more plastics. I can't even hear the word plastic without thinking of George Carlin's bit about the Earth Plastic Plus, about how perhaps all the Earth wanted was plastic for itself, and that's why it made us to make plastic for itself. YouTube hero Alex, what's up? Walking World Poet has upped the Super Chat game. The perceived value of the Super Chat request has gone up. Says, that's true, it's a significant chunk of the album. I take ownership of that, lol. Well, it's not so much the album, it's so much the time of, the time for other people to have songs played, potentially. Fool Killer, 3644, Maryland. The exploration of what it means to be human. There you go, I like that. That's lovely. Zach, Boston, Massachusetts, colonizing space will be amazing for sci-fi world. We wouldn't have to rely, on harming the Earth. Will only work as long as there is freedom for all space noids. Space noids! What's up, N. Doolittle? Everything is neon and there's synthwave playing everywhere. I'll buy that for $1. Word XP, Toronto, Canada. I would love intergalactic space travel. Seeing the Earth, stars, planets, comets, nebula would be incredible. Well. Jules Vaughn, no more pollution. Not necessary. Yeah, when a caterpillar's got done turning into a butterfly, the butterfly doesn't need to be chomping through everything anymore, does it? You know, butterfly has a butterfly business with which to attend. Atkinsvilliers, what's up? Jules Vaughn, but Jules Vaughn just cooking with fire. Long distance space travel, pew. Noel DeShazo, Alabama, a world/universe creator like the ones in Midnight Gospel would be amazing. Will. A world/universe creator. Yes, exactly. Well, maybe we live in one, you know? That's what Elon thinks, isn't it? Atkinsvilliers, I can already tell the album is going to make me cry like a baby. It's going to be awesome. Yes, you are correct on that one. That would be my prediction for the experience of hearing that album. D-Man Tri-State on-demand pizza. It's not delivery, nor is it DiGiorno. Shabba. Joshua Tran, this is a certified hood classic. Why isn't that on my soundboard? It really should be. Atkinsvilliers says, I can't wait. Jules Vaughn says, a longer life. Jules Vaughn has really thought about this, you know. Atkinsvilliers, not even out and it's already gone. Purple! Exactly. Jules Vaughn says, magical. Lynn McLaughlin, storing in flat space, the ability to instantly make fire. Insert Meaningwave meme. Sounds like my laptop. Boom! Welcome all Park, Virginia. Maybe technology to help us empath better. Brain chips to help us understand the feeling of the other. Could go well, could go horribly wrong. Could do both. It's usually what happens. Mason, long-term bop. Pimp Jerk, it is epic right now. Yes, it is. Right here at the peak of recorded human civilization. DS, heyo, Joshua trying virtual realities to travel everywhere and everywhere. That is definitely happening. And it's actually kind of already happening. I haven't checked it out yet. I got to check it out. There's a new thing on the Oculus which is basically that. It's a go anywhere on Earth game, but it's not really a game, you know. You're just like, I want to be at the Taj Mahal now, and you are apparently. So I got to check that out. I got to check it out. John Carmack sent me a Oculus Rift, which was very, very nice of him, and I really have not made as much use of it as I might have, and that's because I'm here, you know. I'm here doing this so much at the time. Ooh, Shava. First version of the beat of this track. Interesting. I wonder if it'll be particularly different. Zach Sousa, sorry for my spelling. I got doinked for the stream. I didn't notice anything wrong. Nothing. Pimp Jerk, physical body is a necessary illusion consciousness employs until we outgrow it and become conscious-like bodies. Well. It seems to have a very specific purpose. It seems without it, there's a whole lot that cannot be done. And that was part of what the Biblical series lecture this week was about, was it not? Shout out to everyone who was here for that. And if you haven't listened to it yet, Akira The Don and Jordan B. Peterson, Biblical series. We are live scoring the Biblical series. Akira The Don is doing the scoring bit, and Dr. Peterson is doing the talking. It's very epic, and we were talking about that. You know, the body. What is that doing? What is it doing? Why is it doing it? What's it for? Why is it so necessary? And why does Christianity seem to revere it so much? Joshua Tran says, a bigger rock to bash with. That's a great title for something, isn't it, Joshua Tran? That's a really good title for something. A bigger rock. A bigger rock to bash with. I love that. It's wonderful. Infinite Yes says, okay, Player One. I've not read or seen that. Would you recommend it? Caroline H. says, we should live in a world where we are ruled by elephants. Well, if you so wish, that's a world that you could dream up, I imagine. Yeah! Pimp Jerk says, it's a seed stage. Hey, this stage right here. This stage right here could be. All right, I think that's a very good, excellent amount of international high five activities and a lot of good things for the future, right? It doesn't have to be a horrible hellscape. It could be a horrible hellscape and a beautiful, glorious wonderland simultaneously. And brings what you feel like bringing to the table, baby. Shouts out to Telegram, baby. The Telegang is going hard. The Telegang is strong and powerful. Shouts out to them. T.me/Akira The Don if you want to join the Telegram gang. Oh! Stand up straight. Kaboom! Stand up straight. All right. International high five, let's get it. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. High five. And this goes out to David S. He wanted to hear a song with the word lobster in it, and this is one. This is surely one.
The first chapter I have in my book is called Stand Up Straight with Your Shoulders Back. And it's an injunction to be combative, not least to further your career, let's say, but also to adopt a stance of ready engagement with the world and to reflect that in your posture.
I kind of have an affinity for lobsters. Lobster loses a fight, kind of crunches down, so he looks smaller. When he wins a fight, he stretches out, looks bigger. And so he's signaling to other lobsters the tally of his victory. So you think, well, so what? The lobster runs on serotonin, neurochemical. And if the lobster loses, the serotonin levels go down. And if he wins, the serotonin levels go up. And when the serotonin levels go up, he stretches out. And he's a confident lobster. And one of the consequences of that is if a lobster loses a battle and you give him the equivalent of antidepressant, then he stretches out and he'll go fight again. Stand up straight, stand up straight, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Stand up straight, stand up straight, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Stand up straight, 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 stand up straight with your shoulders back. So antidepressants work on lobsters. And you think, well, who cares? It's like, no. You don't get it. We diverged from lobsters from an evolutionary perspective 350 million years ago, and it's the same circuit. It's absolutely unbelievable. And that shows you how deep inside you, how basic, how primordial that circuit is in you. It's sizing other people up and looking at where they fit in the hierarchy. The idea of the hierarchy is at least 350 million years old. And so I read that and I think, well, so much for the idea that human hierarchies are a socio-cultural construct. It's like, no, that's wrong. It's not just a little bit wrong, it's unbelievably wrong. It's mind-bogglingly wrong. Lobsters have hierarchies. That's 1/3 of a billion years ago. Okay, that's not a social construction. It's part of being itself. And if you only see a hierarchy as power and tyranny, then you're looking at the world wrong. Stand up straight, stand up straight, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Stand up straight, stand up straight, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Stand up straight, 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 stand up straight with your shoulders back. So this basically says, I'm open to the world. But what it also says is I can handle being open to the world. So it signifies competence. The deepest Christian idea is that you should accept the vulnerability of being. That's the acceptance of the crucifix. You're at the X where all the suffering takes place. You gonna whine about that? No, and get resentful and bitter about it? Or are you gonna say, bring it on? Bring it on. You can handle it, no matter what it is. And the idea is that if you can do that, you will transcend the tragedy. And it's like, well, could that be true? Well, you admire the courageous, so, well, how courageous can you get? That's the question. How courageous can you get? Well, you practice. Stand up straight, stand up straight, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Stand up straight, stand up straight, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Stand up straight, 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 stand up straight with your shoulders back.
You want to present yourself to the world in a manner that doesn't disgrace you in some sense. You don't want to disgrace yourself because the consequence of disgrace is emotional dysregulation. More pain, less positive emotion. And the best way to present yourself is to stand up forthrightly and to stretch out, you know, into long space. If you straighten up and you present yourself in that manner, then other people are more likely to take you seriously. And that means they'll start treating you as if you're a number 1 lobster instead of a number 10 lobster, because one of the general rules of thumb about how to be successful is to confront things that frighten you forthrightly and with courage. And that's kind of a universal strategy for success. And so that's what the first chapter is about.
Make some noise for Jocko Willink!
War is a nightmare. War is awful. It is indifferent and devastating and evil. War is hell. But war is also an incredible teacher. A brutal teacher. And it teaches you lessons that you will not forget. In war, you are forced to see humanity at its absolute worst. And you are also blessed to see humanity in its most glorious moments. War teaches you about sorrow and loss and pain. And it teaches you about the preciousness and the fragility of human life. And in that fragility, war teaches you about death. But war also teaches you about brotherhood and honor and humility and leadership. And unfortunately, war teaches you the most when things go wrong. For me, one of the most impactful lessons that I learned from war was in the spring of 2006 in the city of Ramadi, Iraq, which at the time was the epicenter of the insurgency, where brutal and determined terrorists ruled the streets with torture and rape and murder. And it was in one neighborhood of that city, during an operation that I was in charge of, when all hell broke loose. We had multiple units out on the battlefield fighting the enemy. We had friendly Iraqi soldiers, we had U.S. Army soldiers and U.S. Marines, along with small elements of my SEAL team. And then the fog of war rolled in, with its confusion and chaos and mayhem. accused of mistakes and human error and poor judgment and Murphy's Law and just plain bad luck. A horrendous firefight broke out. But this firefight, it wasn't between us and the enemy. This firefight, tragically, was between us and us. Friendly forces against friendly forces. Fratricide, the mortal sin of combat. And the most horrific part of war. And when it was over, and the fog of war lifted, one friendly Iraqi soldier was dead, 2 more were wounded. One of my men was wounded, the rest of my SEALs were badly shaken. And it was only through a miracle that no one else was killed. And it was reported up the chain of command what had happened. That we had fought and wounded and killed each other. And when we got back to base, things didn't get much better. There was a message waiting for me from my commanding officer. And it said, shut down all operations. It said that the commanding officer, the master chief, and the investigating officer were inbound to my location. And they told me to prepare a debrief to explain exactly what had happened on the operation and what had gone wrong. Now, I knew what this meant. It meant that somebody had to pay. Somebody had to be held accountable. Somebody had to get fired for what had happened. So, I began to prepare my debrief. And in it, I detailed every mistake that was made and who made it. And I pointed out every failure in the planning and the preparation and the execution in the operation. And I pointed out who was responsible for that failure. There was plenty of blame to go around. There were so many people that I could incriminate with guilt. But something wasn't right. For some reason, I just couldn't put my finger on who was at fault and who specifically I should blame for what had happened. And I sat and I went over it again and again and I struggled for an answer. And then when I was about 10 minutes from starting the debrief, that answer came and it hit me like a slap in the face. And I realized that there was only one person to blame for the confusion, only one person to blame for the wounded men, and only one person to blame for the dead Iraqi soldier. And I knew exactly who that person was. And with that knowledge, I walked into the debriefing room with my commanding officer and the investigating officer were sitting there waiting for me, along with the rest of my men, and I stood up before them and I asked them one simple question. Whose fault was this? One of my SEALs raised his hand, and he said it was my fault. I didn't keep control of the Iraqi soldiers I was with. And I said, no, it wasn't your fault. And then another SEAL raised his hand and said it was my fault. I didn't pass our location over the radio fast enough, so no one knew what building we were in, and that's what caused all this confusion. It was my fault. And I said, no, it wasn't your fault either. And then another SEAL raised his hand, and he said, boss, this was my fault. I didn't properly identify my target, and I shot and killed that friendly Iraqi soldier. This was my fault. yours, or yours, or yours, I said as I pointed to the rest of the SEALs in the room. And then I told them that there was only one person at fault for what had happened. There was only one person to blame. And that person was me. I am the commander. I am the senior man on the battlefield. And I am responsible for everything that happens. Everything. And then I went on to explain to them some new tactics, techniques, and procedures that we were going to implement to ensure that this kind of travesty never happened again. And I will tell you something. It hurt. It hurt my ego. It hurt my pride to take the blame. But I also knew that to maintain my integrity as a leader and as a man, I had to take responsibility. And in order to do that, I had to control my ego so that my ego did not control me. And you know what? I didn't get fired. In fact, my commanding officer, who had expected excuses and finger pointing, when I took responsibility, when I took ownership, he now trusted me even more. And my men, they didn't lose respect for me. Instead, they realized that I would never shirk responsibility. And I would never pass that heavy burden of command down the chain and onto them. And you know what? They had the same attitude. Unlike a team where no one takes ownership of the problems and therefore the problems never get solved, with us, everyone took ownership of their mistakes. Everyone took ownership of the problems. And when a team takes ownership of its problems, the problems get solved. And that is true on the battlefield, it is true in business, and it is true in life. So I say, take ownership. Take extreme ownership. Don't make excuses. Don't blame any other person or any other thing. Get control of your ego. Don't hide your delicate pride from the truth. Take ownership of everything in your world, the good and the bad. Take ownership of your mistakes, take ownership of your shortfalls, take ownership of your problems, and then take ownership of the solutions that will get those problems solved. Get those problems solved. Get those problems solved. Take ownership of your mission. Take ownership of your job, of your team, of your future. Take ownership of your life. Lead yourself and your team and the people in your life. Lead them all to victory.
First, I want to thank you because I am a stage 4 cancer survivor.
Big boy.
Darkest hours that a lot of
Super request for Walking More Poet, and this one goes out to Moran.
to live life. Going going to live my days? How did you get from, I don't know if I'm going to come out of this.
Thank you, Moran Alec.
Going to come home. How did you get from the darkest places to the brightest places?
Sam Harris said to me, you combat as your fondest memory.
Akira.
It's happened in your life, it's the high point of your life, which is all true. And he said, but then you talk about war being awful. So, which one is it? I said to him, have you ever known anyone that has had cancer? Terminal cancer. And made it through? Have you ever known anyone that's happened to? And he's like, yes. And I said, when you talk to them, many times, they say, I'm glad that this happened to me. Number one, because it proved I could take it. Number two, it's better me than one of my kids. And number three, now that I know how dark it can get. I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get. I truly appreciate the light in the world. Now that I know how dark it can get. I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get. I truly appreciate the light in the world. That's what combat is and was for me. That's what it was. It was dark and horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, just like you wouldn't wish cancer on anyone. But if I can give them a little knowledge, a little bit of a glimpse into what it is, when you said that, people are clapping because they get to see a little bit of it. And they go home tonight and they think, oh, what about that girl? What about that girl? She's fighting. She's living. And I'm gonna live too. And I'm gonna live too. Now that I know how dark it can get. I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. Now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. I don't pretend to have the cognitive capacity to comprehend the mysteries of the world. But maybe you're right. And maybe you're here to let us know that it can get dark, but it will get light again. Now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. Now that I know how dark it can get, I know how dark it can get. Now that I know how dark it can get, I truly appreciate the light in the world. Yeah! Meaningwave Autonomous Zone, make some noise. Thank you, Moran, Alec Moran, for that request, for being here, for being such an epic being, a member of this epic place, and thank you for your service. Oh! Moran said, this one makes me cry. I felt this IRL. I don't miss Afghanistan, but I do miss my boys. So we see each other again at Fiddler's Green, Cavalry Scout till I die.
God bless you, bro. Added a message to the request, which was much love and God bless everyone. And I think he did. I think everyone here is blessed. We are here right now. We are together. We're here at this incredible junction in the human story, you know. There ain't nowhere else I would rather be. I can say that. I can say that with certainty and gratitude. God bless!
Akira The Don. He's got clout.
Meaningwave Live Super Request Show. Rep it Prox OS. This is for you, baby.
Consummation of grief. I even hear the mountains, the way they laugh. Up and down their blue sides, and down in the water, the fish cry. And all the water is their tears. I listen to the water on nights I drink away, and the sadness becomes so great. I hear it in my clock. It becomes knobs upon my dresser. It becomes paper on the floor. It becomes a shoehorn, a laundry ticket. It becomes cigarette smoke climbing a chapel of dark vines. It matters little. Very little love is not so bad, or very little life. What counts is waiting on the wall. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead. I was born for this. I was born to hustle roses down the avenues of the dead.
Make some noise to Charles Bukowski. This is Born.
As the chalk faces smile, as Mrs. Death laughs, as political landscapes dissolve, as the oily fish spit out their oily prey, we are born like this, into hospitals which are so expensive that it's cheaper to die. Into lawyers who charge so much, it's cheaper to plead guilty.
Say it again.
Into a country where the jails are full and the madhouses closed. Into a place where the masses elevate fools into rich heroes. Born into this, walking and living through this, dying because of this. frustrated, debauched, disinherited because of this. The fingers reach toward an unresponsive God. The fingers reach for the bottle, the pill, the powder. We are born into this sorrowful deadliness. The open and unpunished murder in the streets. It'll be guns and roving mob. Land will be useless. Food will become a diminishing return. Nuclear power will be taken over by the many. Explosions will continually shake the earth. Radiated men will eat the flesh of radiated men. The rotting bodies of men and animals will stink in the dark wind. And there will be the most beautiful silence never heard. Born out of that, the sun hidden there, awaiting the next chapter.
Well, what do we have to say about that? Jocko. Meaningwave Autonomous Zone, what do we have to say about that? That's right! That's right! He's got clout.
How do I deal with setbacks, failures, delays, defeat, or other disasters?
I actually have a fairly simple way of dealing with these situations. It is actually one word to deal with all those situations. And that is good. And this is actually something that one of my guys that worked for me pointed out to me. He would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. One day he was telling me about some issue that he was having. He said, I already know what you're going to say. And I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good.
You're going to say good. You're going to say good. You're gonna say good. Good. Ow. Good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. 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 Oh.
That's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good. Good. And I said, well, yeah, and I mean it. And that is how I feel. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. We can keep it simple. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Didn't get funded. Good. We own more of the company. Didn't get the job you wanted. Good. You can get more experience and build a better resume. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good.
You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. 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 Ow, good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. Ow.
Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Good. Needed a break from training. Got tapped out. Good. Better to tap in training than to tap out on the street. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. And that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. No. You just look at the issue and you say,
oh! Hey, you're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. Good. Hey, good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. Good.
I don't mean to say something that's all cliche. I don't mean to sound like Mr. Positive. But do that.
Focus on the good. Focus on the good. Aye.
Take that issue, take that problem. Take that issue, take that problem, and make it something good. Make it something good. And bring that attitude to your team.
You go forward.
You go forward.
Aye.
You're gonna say
good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good.
Good.
Good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good. You're gonna say good.
Good. And lastly, like to close this out. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. Up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, go out on the attack. And that right there is about as good as it gets.
And language. And what's really important is, I call it the felt presence of direct experience, which is a fancy term which just simply means we have to stop consuming our culture. We have to stop consuming our culture. We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR. Create your own roadshow. The nexus of space and time, where you are now, is the most immediate sector of your universe. And if you're worrying about Michael Jackson or Bill Clinton or somebody else, then you are disempowered. You're giving it all away to icons which are maintained by an electronic media, so that you want to dress like X or have lips like Y. This is shit brand, this kind of thinking. That is all cultural diversion. What is real is you and your friends and your associations, your highs, your orgasms, your hopes, your plans, your fears. And we're told, no, we're unimportant. We're peripheral. Get a degree, get a job, get a this, get a that, and then you're a player. You don't even want to play in that game. You want to reclaim your mind and get it out of the hands of the cultural engineers who want to turn you into a half-baked moron, consuming all this trash that's being manufactured out of the bones of a dying world. Where is that at?
Where's that at? Huh? Where's that at? Hey!
Catalyst.
Just say what has never been said.
To see
what has never been seen. To draw, paint, sing, sculpt, dance, and act. What has never before been done. To say what has never been said. To see what has never been seen. To draw, paint, sing, sculpt, dance, and act. What has never before been done. Whoa! Reclaim your mind. Reclaim your mind. Aye. Whoa! Reclaim your mind. Ow. Reclaim your mind. Ow.
Catalyst.
Just say what has never been said. To see what has never been seen. To draw, paint, sing, sculpt, dance, and act. What has never before been done. To say what has never been said. To see what has never been seen. To draw, paint, sing, sculpt, dance, and act. What has never before been done. Whoa. Reclaim your mind. Reclaim your mind. Whoa! Whose brilliant idea was that? D-Man. It was D-Man. Shouts out to D-Man. What a great request that was.
Akira The Don. Akira The Don.
Greetings, thanks, and congratulations. The Kenya's graduating class of 2005.
Akira.
There are these two young fish swimming along, and they happen to meet an older fish swimming the other way, who nods at them and says, "Morning, boys, how's the water?" And the two young fish swim on for a bit, and then eventually one of them looks over at the other and goes, "What the hell is water?"
Hey!
What the hell is water? This is a standard requirement of U.S. commencement speeches, the deployment of didactic little parable story. The story thing turns out to be one of the better, less bullshitty conventions of the genre. But if you're worried that I plan to present myself here as the wise older fish explaining what water is to you younger fish, please don't be. I am not the wise old fish. The point of the fish story is merely that the most obvious, important realities are often the ones that are hardest to see and talk about. Stated as an English sentence, of course, this is just a banal platitude. But the fact is that in the day-to-day trenches of adult existence, banal platitudes can have a life or death importance. Or so I wish to suggest to you on this dry and lovely morning. What the hell is water?
Whoa! What?
What the hell is water?
What is that? What is it? It's a request for DS, that's what it is. Previously, by the way, we had Good, and that was Love Coach's Good Idea. Shouts out to the Love Coach!
What the hell is water?
Of course, the main requirement of speeches like this is that I'm supposed to talk about your liberal arts education's meaning. To try to explain why the degree you're about to receive has actual human value instead of just a material payoff. So let's talk about the single most pervasive cliche in the commencement speech genre, which is that a liberal arts education is not so much about filling you up with knowledge as it is about, quote, teaching you how to think. If you're like me as a student, you've never liked hearing this, and you tend to feel a bit insulted by the claim that you've needed anybody to teach you how to think. Since the fact that you even got admitted to a college this good seems like proof that you already know how to think. But I'm going to posit to you that the liberal arts cliche turns out not to be insulting at all. Because the really significant education in thinking that we're supposed to get in a place like this isn't really about the capacity to think, but rather about the choice of what to think about. If your total freedom of choice regarding what to think about seems too obvious to waste time discussing, I'd ask you to think about fish and water and to bracket for just a few minutes your skepticism about the value of the totally obvious.
What the hell is water? What the hell is water? What the hell is water? What the hell is water?
With blessed glory.
What the hell is water?
Hey!
What the hell is water?
Special request for DS, that's Akira The Don and David Foster Wallace. Opening track from the This Is Water Wave mini album. DS says this is nostalgic for summer 2020 when I heard this.
What the hell is water?
Man, people getting nostalgic for 2020 already, huh? Yo! Welcome to the Church of Meaning. Put your hands to the ceiling and repeat after me. Hallelujah!
Akira.
One of the things I tend to do is to look at symbolic representations through the lens of evolutionary biology, rather than assuming that these representations are mere superstitions or play no fun.
What XP?
The idea that there's a deity that's father-like, so it's a disembodied spirit in some sense, that's eternal, that has eternal characteristics. It's like, okay, well, strip it of its metaphysics, if you strip it of its metaphysics, and just look at it as a biological phenomena. It's like, well, what might the idea that there's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, Spirit of the Father. Might that be a reflection of? Well, it's like, well, there's you imitating your father, but your father imitated his father, and his father, and his father, and his father imitated his father. So in some sense, what your father actually imitated was the pattern of fathers across time. And you can think of the transcendent father as the pattern of fathers across time. When a child imitates his father in pretend play, when I'm pretending to be my father, I'm observing my father across multiple situations, and then I'm abstracting out the commonalities in behavior and attitude across those situations that make him father. And then I incorporate that and dramatize it in my pretend play. It's unbelievably sophisticated. And so it's what the child is doing in pretend play is coming to embody the disembodied spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, spirit of the Father. And so you think that is a disembodied spirit. It's a disembodied spirit that's incarnated in the collective of fathers across time. And what is that? Well, it's a judge, that's for sure. It's a judge. Even when you interact with the hierarchy of men who are currently alive, something can be abstracted out of that. It's like the patriarchal spirit. And if you don't think that's judging you, you are not thinking. It's absolutely judging you. That's what rank orders you in a hierarchy. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, spirit of the Father. There's an eternal spirit of the Father, spirit of the Father. There's
What's up? Michael Myers, thank you for the support. Says, what is the essence of your being? Andrew Myers. Is that a quote? Is that a question? Oh, what's up? It's Val Venus in the house. How you doing, Val Venus? Just been off doing a little ting. Good for you, Val Venus, doing a little ting. Let's check in on the campaign. Let's see how we doing. We were on 31875 on our quest to get an orchestra at 34. Oh! Who did that? We are just $50 away from 32K, which means we are just $2K and $50 away from an orchestra. Oh! 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 Thundercats. That was from the last Jordan B. Peterson and Akira The Don album, JBPWAVE 5, that came out in 2019. 2019, it's over a year. But don't you worry, baby, we got a new album, it's called JBPWAVE Aesthetic, and it's coming out next week. Hurrah!
Let's look at this next tweet, which I thought was cryptic
Hurrah!
and also super interesting about the
special request for Biological Bootloader
that you might have. You said
says no one can compete with you on being you. Major key!
Most people haven't figured this out yet.
Bob.
The fundamental property of the internet, more than any other single thing, is it connects every human to each other human on the planet. You can now reach everyone, whether it's by emailing them personally, whether it's by broadcasting to them on Twitter, whether it's by putting up a website they come and access. The internet is an inter-networking tool. It connects everybody. That is its superpower.
That is a superpower.
The internet means that you can find your audience for your product or your talent and skill, no matter how far away they are. Any niche obsession, people who collect snakes, people who like to ride hot air balloons, people who like to sail around the world by themselves as one person on a craft, or there's a show about a woman who goes to people's houses and tidies it up.
Clean up your room.
So whatever niche obsession you have, the internet allows you to scale. Now that's not to say that what you build will be the next Facebook, will reach billions of users, but if you just want to reach 50,000 passionate people like you, there's an audience out there for you. The fundamental property of the internet, more than any other single thing, it connects everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. That is its superpower. It connects everyone to everyone. It connects everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone. So the beauty of this is that we have 7 billion beings on this planet. The combinatorics of human DNA are incredible. Everyone is completely different. You'll never meet any two people who are even vaguely similar to each other that can substitute for each other. It's not like you can say, well, Nivi just left my life, so I can have this other person come in and he's just like Nivi, and I get the same feelings, the same responses, and the same ideas. No, there are no substitutes for people. People are completely unique. So given that each person has different skill sets, different interests, different obsessions, it's that diversity that becomes a creative superpower. So each person can be creatively superb at their own unique thing. But before, that didn't matter, because if you were living in a little fishing village in Italy, your fishing village didn't necessarily need your completely unique skill, and you had to conform to just the few jobs that were available. But now, today, you can be completely unique. You can go out on the internet and you can find your audience, and you can build a business and create a product and build wealth and make people happy, just uniquely expressing yourself through the internet. The fundamental property of the internet, more than any other single thing, it connects everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. That is its superpower. It connects everyone to everyone. It connects everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone. The space of careers has been so broad. Esports players, people creating videos and uploading, bloggers, podcasters, and YouTube broadcaster. PewDiePie is the #1 trusted name in news. He's got 3 times the distribution of the top cable news networks. The internet enables any niche interest, as long as you're the best at it, to scale out. And the great news is, because every human is different, everyone is the best at something, being themselves. Escape competition through authenticity. When you're competing with people, it's because you're copying them. It's because you're trying to do the same thing. But every human is different. Don't imitate, don't copy, just do your own thing. No one can compete with you on being you. It's that simple. And so the more authentic you are to who you are and what you, the less competition you're gonna have. So you can escape competition through authenticity when you realize no one can compete with you on being you. The fundamental property of the internet, more than any other single thing, it connects everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. That is its superpower. It connects everyone to everyone. It connects everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone. The fundamental internet to everyone than any other single thing. It connects everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone. Everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone to everyone. Everyone is the best at
Shouts out to PewDiePie.
Everyone is the best at something.
Being themselves. Alright. Shouts out to Puppy Stir Fry. Appreciate the 3333. Auspicious!
And normally that would have been useless and everyone
hey, man like PewDiePie. I don't know how many views he gets a day, but he is obviously, you know, way bigger than cable news. And obviously they've been very upset about this for a long time, and that's why they hate on him, you know, and that's why they actively try and destroy people on the internet and stuff. What's awesome now is that now they're right out saying it in the open, you know. There's this who's that guy? He looks like an evil George Costanza, you know. I see him like, obviously I haven't had a TV since 2003. You know, but like I see people on, you know, on Twitter, stuff gets tweeted onto my Twitter, you know, onto my timeline, creepy shit. And there's this like guy who looks like an evil George Costanza, and he's at this this old school cable line thing, you know what's that thing? CNN, you know, and he's on that, and they're outright saying that, like, demanding that like people's YouTube channels be shut down because they have more viewers than them. They literally goes, there's some of these people on YouTube who have twice as much viewers as we do.
everyone is the best. Being themselves. Everyone is the best at something.
Yeah, I've been watching these fools die for a long time, you know. It's a very, very like protracted death rattle.
Being themselves.
Now they're like, oh, we're gonna start. We gotta censor podcasts. There's a loophole. People are on podcasts talking about things. We must stop this.
And everyone.
Ain't no stopping the popping, fool. You are done. It is over for you. Au revoir, evil George Costanza.
Everyone is the best at something. Everyone is the best at something. Everyone at something.
I will see you in an Uber someday.
And everyone.
Or not.
At something.
So I don't get those anymore.
Something. Everyone is the best at.
Yo, being himself.
Everyone is the best at something. Everyone is the best at something.
Everyone's the best at something. And this guy, I think he's the best at looking like an evil George Costanza.
You've been useless and bright.
And that's a pretty powerful skill. I couldn't do that.
You turned that into a career.
I do not have evil George Costanza in my skill set. Hey, hey, hey. It's a beautiful day. The infinite yes. This is your
Next
song.
Stage in the mystery of the human development is that of old age. Coming up. Just about when you learn how to do what they've been trying to teach you, and you begin to fumble.
Fumble?
Then you have to put stuff together, and for another few years, act as though you still could do it. Then everybody else begins to see he's not doing so well. They put another waiter in to take over the job for you and that kind of thing. You're gradually eased out. You're gradually eased out. The first half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes. Here it comes. And the last half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes. Here it comes. In other words, the first function of the local social mythology was to bring you from childhood dependency to responsibility in terms of the social demand. And then just about when you're beginning to feel good about it all, the society that has said you've got to do what we want begins to say, well, it looks as though you can't do what we want, so you're on your own. Then you have what's called a nervous breakdown. The first half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes, here it comes. And the last half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think, here it comes, here it comes. The next problem then, in a mythological order that is going to take care of us, is to tell us what to do with our psyches when that begins to happen. The economic problem isn't the main one. Not that somebody should, give you a fishing rod and send you out fishing and then have dinner for you and come home. It's what are you going to do with that power inside you? What are you going to do with that power inside you? What are you going to do with that power inside you? What are you going to do with that power inside you? What are you going to do with that power inside you? The first half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think here it comes, here it comes. And the last half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think here it comes, here it comes. You become somewhat aware of the world, of the history of the world, and you just don't want to go doodling along with silly little children tasks, and that's not what you're worth. It's not what you're ready for. There are problems to face. The most challenging one is death. Man is the only animal that knows he's going to die. And as soon as you fumble that ball, it's coming. It's coming. The first half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think here it comes. Here it comes. And the last half of life, when there's a knock on the door, you think here it comes. Here it comes. So we find this wonderful problem, and the mythologies in general, the religions, have served it. They have provided images, tasks, discipline that carry the child from childhood dependency to responsibility. Rather simple responsibilities, those that the society says you've got to accept. And then they've provided a way out. They tell you that daddy will be up there and you're going back home. Now this isn't quite enough anymore. Is it any wonder that our clergymen look a little bit anxious these days?
Joseph Campbell there from the album Songs of Mythology. For the Infinite Yes.
The reason why I got Everything's a Scam in a neon sign
and right here
apartment is because I think that's
also
a message
for the Infinite Yes.
So I wanted to remind myself of that every time I woke up.
And the reason why I think it's optimistic is that you see all these different problems, right? All these things in the world, and you're like, well, I don't understand that thing. Like, I don't understand.
In my case,
longevity research and science and hard work. I don't understand any of these things in a deeply technical way. I want to affect them.
I want to affect them.
Hey.
A lot of the reasons why people don't go into different fields is they think, well, there's this kind of expert status around this field, which means I can't ever infiltrate it. And the thing that I want to remember every day is that expertise is a scam.
Expertise is a scam.
It's like a power hierarchy that's been created within an industry to prevent other people from being able to go and get into it. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam. Right? If you realize that,
you can do anything.
Why I think remembering everything is a scam is important is that it boosts your self-efficacy to remind yourself that if everything's a scam, then if you have high integrity and you want to go solve a problem, it's probably the case that it'll take you pretty far.
Take you pretty far.
Take it pretty far.
Like more far than trying to play the traditional game.
Which is a scam.
So, to me, everything is a scam is not a negative thing. It's a reminder to just play the game. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game. Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam. But if you realize that,
you can do anything. You can do do
Any game you want to
anything.
play, just go play it.
You can do
Any game you want to
anything.
play, just go play it.
You can do
Any game you want to
anything.
play, just go play it. It's
You
just
can
a
do
fucking
anything.
game.
You can do
Any game you want to
anything.
play, just go play it.
You can do
Any game you want to
anything.
play, just go play it.
You can do
Any game you want to play, just go play it. It's just a fucking game.
Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam. Academia is a scam. Venture capital is a scam. Everything's a fucking scam.
Scam.
Right? But if you realize that,
You can do anything.
And you can do anything.
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 Reva Taz. In the Meaningwave, it was on the Stone. Shouts out to Reva. I have not seen. Last time I saw Reva was last time I was in San Francisco. I was in San Francisco to play a lingerie party for a lingerie brand, and Reva took me for breakfast. Unconnected, she just happened to be in the same place, you know. And she is no longer in San Francisco. Of course, she moved to Vegas. She got the heck out of Dodge because she ain't stupid. Shouts out to Reva. And thank you all for being here, by Jove. That was for the Infinite Yes, and this right here, this will be our peak. This will be pretty much the conclusion of the thing. Sivian asked for this song. He said, even though I've heard this plenty, it came on randomly in the car, and well, it reduced me to tears. That last minute hit me right in the soul. Well, let's see how it feels this time.
The title of these talks that I'm giving here is Mind Over Mind. And I'm going into all the various problems which have to do with the control of the mind. And so I might introduce what I'm going to say by saying it from different points of view. For example, if you're interested in communications, it will be the problem of feedback. Or if I may put it in theological terms, how does man follow the will of God if the will of man is perverse? The theologians say, you cannot do this without having divine grace, or the power to follow the will of God. How then do you get grace? Why is grace given to some and not to others? If I cannot follow the will of God by my own effort because my will is selfish, how will my will, which is selfish, be transformed into an unselfish will? If I cannot do it because I am already the selfish will, then grace must do it. Then grace must do it. If grace has not already done it, why not? Because I didn't accept it. But by definition, I had no power to accept it because my will was selfish. Must I then become a Calvinist and say that only those people who are predestined to receive grace will be able to live the good life? The good life. Then we come back to the inadmissible position that people who live evil lives do not get grace because they are not predestined to it out of the infinite wisdom of the Godhead. Then God himself must be held responsible for their evil deeds.
guys? Flood the chat, baby. Flood the chat with thy blessed wave emojis.
Why would
as a show of appreciation
mow a lawn
for the event you have partaken of. Whoa! Man, this song sounds hella fast now, huh? Blessed fast. Woo! Hey, Jiggy. Hey.
Why would anyone do drugs
when they could just mow a lawn? Man, this song sounds so fast. You know, because your boy is a very skilled DJ. I don't normally be like jumping around like that, you know? I'll be like easing things around so it just feels like you're flowing, you know? Unless I want to jerk you, you know? Unless I want to yank you off, so to speak. That's not what I meant to say. Unless I want to, you know, disrupt. Shit. God bless the Meaningwave Autonomous Zone and the brave citizens thereof. God bless the wave riders, each and every one. Riders of the wave. God bless the Telegram gang. Oh man, that's an Arietti gift.
Why would anyone do drugs when they could just...
Arietti's great, you know, it's based on the Borrowers. I used to love them Borrowers books when I was young. You ever read them Borrowers books? It's about these tiny little people, you know, who lived in the human world, but they were so tiny, you know, they could live on a bookshelf. You know, and then they had to evacuate their lovely home and go on an adventure.
Why would
I let them books.
Drugs when they could just mow a lawn?
Hey! Good question. Why indeed? I don't know. I have no idea, baby. I don't know. Why would anyone choose nihilism when you could just choose meaning? People be like, see, nihilism's easy. You know, it's a brilliant cop-out. It's not though, is it? It's like saying eating loads of cake is easier than not eating loads of cake. It's not true though. Eating loads of cake ends up being harder because then you have to carry all that cake around all the time. It turns into body and then you have to carry all the extra that. You know, you have all sorts of other issues. It's like, nihilists. Oh, God bless you. Speaking of God bless. God bless the Meaningwave Autonomous Zone. Thank you for being here tonight. What a wonderful, wonderful night it was here at the Meaningwave Autonomous Zone. We had the Meaningwave Live super request show. We get out of here. Thank you for everyone who did a super request of some kind or some source or some nature. Zach Souser, Richard Young, Word XP, Walking More Poet, David S, Ripper Prox OS, Walking More Poet, Demon, Miranda Alec, Love Coach, Infinite Yes, DS again, Biological Bootloader, Michael Myers. What's up, baby? I was never quite sure what if that was just a quote or what. I googled it. I couldn't find nothing. I didn't Google it. I DuckDuckGo'd it. I couldn't find nothing. Oh, Sivian, Puppy Stir Fry, Infinite Yes, and DS had a request. I didn't know what it was. If you're gonna make a request, it's probably better to put the song title in. I sometimes can't understand what you mean. Do you know what? Infinite Yes. I had to literally search my own lyric database to remember which that song was. I got so many songs, but we did work that one out. Hurrah! Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. DS says nothing like sunburn, bent over manual labor, pause, and sweep before going home. Sweat before going home as a teen. Not sarcastic, but real. That's real, baby, that's real. I mowed my lawn the other day. That was manual labor. I had not mowed the lawn for like 6 weeks. It was a epic activity mowing that lawn. Boom, boom. DS said, I asked you, Akira, for a joyful morning song. Yeah, that's not a song title. I don't know what that is. You're being vague. We cannot do vagaries in the Super Request show. We need specifics. Now, I want to remind you all that it's a beautiful day to be alive here at the peak of recorded human civilization. We're going to be here tomorrow. Yeah! We're going to be here tomorrow. DS says your choice. Okay. You should have said that. Now it's too late. It's too late. I choose to play a beautiful morning song in the morning when it's the morning. Tomorrow will be the morning. We've got the Super Request show. Hey, I tell you what, DS, we can spin the wheel. How about that? How about that, DS? Are you ready? Oh no, I've got to find it. Where's my wheel spinning capability? Hey, YouTube hero Alex, can you use your wheel spinning capability? Do you have it? Hey, there it goes. It's spinning, it's spinning. It's spinning! It's still spinning. Oh, there it goes, it stops. 80s, 90s alternative. That's how we're kicking off the show tomorrow morning on Twitch. For you, DS, for you. That is the beautiful morning vibe we're going to get just for you tomorrow morning. 80s, 90s alternative. On Twitch, 7cc, that's dope. That's gonna be joyful. What a time to be alive. And speaking of what a time to be alive, this week is epic here in the Meaningwave Autonomous Zone. We've got a very special live set tomorrow, a special Meaningwave live set, capping off our recap of the music we put out in 2020 in the form of a beautiful live performance story. Ho! So that'd be nice. And then Tuesday it's Meaning, Crisis and Chill with Viveki John and Akira The Don. Wednesday it's a biblical series. Live scoring the biblical stories series with Jordan B. Peterson and Akira The Don. Wow, what an epic combo. Thursday is going to be super special. We got the pre-party for the new JBPWAVE album. And then we're going to be listening to the album live together at the premiere. Oh! Michael in Seattle says Wednesdays are the best days. Wednesdays are the most exhausting, emotionally draining, intense days for Akira The Don. It's very, very intense for some reason. For some reason, it's really the Viveki John ones just feel like a breeze, you know. Those pieces, and you'd think it's the same thing. It's a lecture. It's not the same thing for some reason. For some reason, it's really not the same thing at all. Oh. So yes, that's going on. Friday, the album will be out everywhere. We'll have a release party. We'll have a turbo party. It'll be joyful. We got a stuffed week ahead of us. You know, I'm doing my very, very best to complete work on the third album of 21, which is nearly done. It's nearly done. I've got my I'm doing drum fills and things of that nature. You know, the sparkling finishing touches, brr, brum, bada, bum, bum, on all of the tracks. I can tell you the third album of 21 has got some really, really epic sax on it. If so, people who enjoy the epic sax moments of Meaningwave will really, really be happy about the third album of 21. It's got some really, really epic sax activities on it. Word XP says the biblical ones are much longer. That's true, they are. Last week was like 3 hours or something. There's a real big difference between like 55 minutes and 3 hours. Oh! Oh! Anyway, thank you all for being here. If you've not yet, go check out the campaign. Go back the Indiegogo campaign. Let's see where we're at on that, baby. 31950. We are $50 away from 32K. Very, very epic. At 399% of our of our manufacturing goal. We are way beyond mere manufacture at this point. Way beyond mere manufacture. God bless. Was there anything else I needed to address tonight? I don't think so. Thank you all for being here. And God bless you and your family. It is Sunday. We probably should have a prayer, shouldn't we? A Sunday prayer. Aye. Boogie, boogie. Wave Father, out there in the infinite ocean. I am aware that we have some particularly intense moments ahead of us quite soon. Quite soon, I imagine. Well, I imagine, I do pay some attention, dear Lord, I do. And I do my very best to read the signs that you send and things of that nature, and I do my best. I would say I pray, I really do pray that my brothers and sisters do not fall into any traps. I know they set in some traps, and, you know, I know there's some trickery and tomfoolery ahead. I pray that my brothers and sisters have the wisdom to not be fooled and not fall into any of these traps, and not allow themselves to be deceived, and allow themselves to withstand the attacks upon their personhood, upon their very soul. What was it the Prophet Prince said? He said there's a war going on. The battlefield is the mind, and the prize is the soul. You know, and you sent Prince, you know, and Prince, he told us that, you know, and I don't know if anyone really paid attention, but we did turn it into a lovely song. So I hope my brothers and sisters do have the wisdom and fortitude to withstand these attacks on the mind and these, these attempts at the very corruption of the soul. I pray they do. I know they will. I have great faith in my brothers and sisters, you know. I have great faith in them. They're very, very epic. They make me very proud. I hope they make you proud, you know. And with that being said, I pray that our people have the wisdom and the fortitude to not be fooled. And I pray they have the wisdom and the fortitude to stay strong and not be baited into anything, because we do know that the sun always comes up, you know. It always does, right? It always does. And there's I know there's some epic things ahead of us, you know, and that we need to be in our right mind, you know, and we need to be mentally and physically fit. So I pray that we all take these times as an opportunity to do what we can to fully fortify ourselves as best we can for that which lies ahead, and not be deceived, and not be railroaded, and not be distracted with crap circus activities. You know, it's crap circus activities. Never mind that. We got shit to do, right? That's right, we do. All right, boom. Thank you for everything. You know, we're going to do our very, 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 very best. Yes, we are. 100% epic activities only. 100% us in this lifetime. Let's get it. Amen. Amen. I knew I was going to look up and see the chat, and someone would have written a woman. Will that meme ever die? Has Amen forever been tainted with that crap meme? Ugh. God bless. God bless. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm honored to be among you. And I'll see you tomorrow. God bless everybody. Oh yeah, by 5. That's what we do. 3, 2, 1. Relax. And don't give in to astonishment. Sweet dreams.